So now we're talking about TogetherCrew. I'm Katarina. I'm the co-founder of TogetherCrew, and we enable community-powered business growth. Over the years, what we have seen is that the way companies interact with their users has changed. And we're now in an area of community-powered growth. But the word community is being thrown around a lot, and it got a bad rap, especially in Web3 given the last 6 months. However, the companies who are building real communities, so not just empty shells, are seeing a positive impact on their business, such as faster sales cycle, increased retention, and increased purchase. So there's a benefit to having a real community. Our success in getting, but the problem with building real communities is that it is really difficult. There's a lot of manual labor. And we talked with at least 50 community managers, and they're all telling us the same thing. Members are having thousands of questions. There's a lot of stuff happening on a lot of different platforms. To sum it up, being a community manager is overwhelming. And this problem is made worse by data being siloed and locked into specific tools, leaving community managers with guessing what is really happening inside their community. Our success in getting grant funding from large Web3 communities to research and develop real community metrics serves as a validation that everyone is grappling with these questions about how can we create and sustain healthy communities. TogetherCrew's solution is threefold. First, we're giving community managers a holistic insight about what is really happening, because you can't develop a community strategy and you can't execute it if you don't know what is happening inside your community. Secondly, we're moving away from vanity metrics that measure the audience, but not the community. And thirdly, we're not just providing a fancy dashboard. The output of our algorithms serves as input for our automation, saving community managers time. Here is just one example. Of course, we have the basics, a dashboard. On the dashboard, you can see how many community members are actively engaged in conversations, because it is conversations that make communities stick, not just channels where people say GM. That helps people, or that helps community managers identify the key stakeholders. But we're not just doing this. If a community member, for example, drops from being engaged to disengaged, that person will receive an automatic message nudging them to re-engage, thus saving community managers time checking in with their users and increasing retention. And that is just one example of the automations that our platform is offering. We are doing this because we are a team of nerds. So we have scientists behind the scenes who are combining insights from different scientific disciplines to figure out what is really happening inside a community and what behavior predicts engagement or retention or disengagement and so on. And we're using this by integrating on-chain and off-chain data. At this moment, we have 10K in R&R and 40 early adopters. But more importantly, the stories I'm hearing from community managers is that finally doing their job is less overwhelming and we're saving them time. TogetherCrew's solution sits squarely in a $409 billion marketing tech market, and we're tackling this by beginning with Web3. We're doing this by using a traditional SaaS model where companies pay for the integrations that they need, and we're growing with them. We are uniquely placed in the community tooling landscape. There are a lot of tools that help you grow your community through ads, which is like feeding the fire more and more and more. We are different. We are helping communities grow organically because that sticks. In addition to this, we have automated workflows, so saving community managers time. We are uniquely placed to do this because, as I said before, we are a team of scientists. We have 2 PhDs who have a degree in network science and organizational behavior. In addition to this, we have an expert in marketing. and an expert in organizational design and governance. Thus, we know Web3 and we know how communities work. We're working towards a vision where we have a data marketplace, where integrating data from different platforms like Discord, Snapchat, Prime Metrics, and so on, we are analyzing what works, and we have these metrics open for other tools to plug in. For example, we are showing who is the most active ones, and there are tools like Praise, Kudos, or Quiddle who can then hook into our tool and reward their members financially or non-financially thanks to our data. TogetherCrew is moving away from vanity, metrics, and guesswork, and through this, unlocking community-powered growth. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that, Katerina. Really appreciate that you made it within the time limit. So we'll move on to the question and answers now. I'll leave the judges to take it from here.
Okay, I think Vishal wants to say something, but can't hear him.
Maybe you can type it. Yeah, maybe you can type it in the chat, and then we will ask it on your behalf. Thanks so much.
Maybe then while you type it, I can also ask, like, can you explain me a bit on like how you're different than your competition? Because for me, this is a very like I can like just easily aggregate Discord and Twitter data, right? And then just see who are the active accounts. And in terms of like interaction with me as a blockchain protocol, I see it on the blockchain, right? I just see which wallet address is most active and reward the active wallet. So I guess the question is a bit like, what's the benefit for me as a project to use you? And I know you've been touching on it already, but in my head, it's still a bit, doesn't make too much sense because I can get all these data from other places, right? I can aggregate Discord and Twitter user data. I can see the wallet activity. Like, why would I pay $1,000 to use you?
Yeah, wonderful question. Well, first, I'm going to question how easy it is to integrate all the data from all the different tools. One of our competitors, they closed shop in July exactly because getting the real-time data in front of community managers was too complicated. So they are now out. So it's not easy. And working with the Twitter API has been not really nice. But the more important question is, how are we different and why do you actually need TogetherCrew? If you look at the other community tools or community analytics tools, what they are focusing on is activity. So you get to know how loud is your community. But that doesn't tell you, will your community still exist in 3 years or 5 years? So you get this short-time buzz information, but not long-term growth data. And in that way, we are different. And we are able to do this because we have 2 PhDs, and I'm one of them, who have studied network science. So this is not something that you can pick up in 6 months. This requires a degree, and network science is understanding how the relationship between people impact different outcomes. And that's our main, let's say, benefit compared to other tools that we have. In addition, what we have seen is that, for example, Zeely gives you a bucket of tasks, and then community members have to figure out what do they want to do. We're not doing that. We're saying, okay, Stefan, you have been in our community for 6 months. You mainly check out these and these channels and talk with 3 or other people. We're going to give you a task that we know will make you more engaged with our community. And we're doing this, we are able to do this based on our algorithm.
So the end customer is then not actually the product or the project itself that wants to have this data, it's the user. Like if I use Ethereum, then after a year you come to me and you be like, hey, this is how you can leverage it, or?
No. So like we have seen like protocols want devs to work on them. That's kind of the main thing. So the main thing is then how can you get more devs on your platform or in your community and stay in your community. And that's what we're solving for.
Okay,
So-
but it's very like for dev, like it's very driven by money and mission, right? Like they want to be where they see a lot of growth and maybe like alignment with like the personal values and financial rewards in terms of like if I build on Ethereum 5 years ago, I believe in the project becoming financially viable as well. I feel like that's what devs care about, like at least when talking to them, but maybe I have a
Yeah, but once you have a problem, you need help, and that's where the community comes in. And if your community gives you like if it takes 3 days to get an answer, this impacts the work of the dev, and that information travels throughout the community. For example, Solana, I talked with the Solana devs and asked me, why are you building on Solana? And they said community. Like the vibe on that protocol is just so amazing that that's the reason why they went there. Didn't even look at other things.
all right. Got it. Want to leave some room for other questions.
Yes.
Thanks for
Am I
that,
audible,
Stefan.
Melissa?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Thanks, Katrina, for your presentation. I just wanted to ask, like you mentioned, you will help communities grow organically. Just wanted to understand how you are going to help companies grow organically in terms of forming their communities.
Yeah. Simply while there's a huge scientific field around communities. There are algorithms that predict who will stay and who will leave based on their behavior. So the first step is integrating data across different platforms. So Twitter, Discord, and so on, Telegram. And then it's simply segmenting users based on their interaction patterns. What are they doing on each platform, on which who are they interacting, on what stuff are they voting yes or no? And then based on that, give them one specific task that will make them, or one specific nudge, however you want to call it, that make them more engaged in the community. So that the goal is, or what we're doing is that we analyze the data, we develop algorithms, and these algorithms predict engagement or predict retention. And in this way, we help communities grow. So it's sorting through all the data that community members create for the touch points.
Are you going to have Quest on your platform?
Quest?
Yeah.
So 2 ways. Because we know a lot about the users, we can or partner with Zili or Galaxy or another Quest platform and hook into them, and then the user creates Quest on the other tool. Or we have like a Netflix for community members where you log into Discord and then or whatever tool you're using, and you get a suggested, let's say, to-do list or recommended stuff that you can do in your in this community.
So basically what you are doing is you are analyzing users' behavior to understand what quest they will be solving, and you are providing that to them. Is that correct understanding?
By providing them the quest that will most likely make them higher engaged and retained in the community. So not just any type of quest, but the specific thing that makes them stick.
And how you are going to decide that? Like what kind of parameters are there for analyzing the user behaviors?
So it's all the different interactions that a user can have on the platform. So this is what they're posting, the topics that they're talking about, the integrations that they're interacting with on your platform, how many times they're talking with a specific person. So if you consider everything that you can do in your community, we're taking all of this and making sense of it.